Hello, everybody. It is CJ Miller. I'm in my downtown apartment in Shreveport, Louisiana, across the Red River from beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. Please, on your holiday trips, if you're looking for something that you haven't done before and you haven't been here, come check us out. We have a lot of good things. So I'm here and I'm going to be talking about this acrylic on canvas painting that I'm working with. And I do a lot of wet on wet. Then I'll let that dry, and then I'll come back and I'll do wet on dry, on wet on dry. You know what I mean? Just kind of like layers back and forth. And I love to do work in small increments. Gives me a chance to really take in what I'm doing. It basically, gives me more enjoyment to be able to take my time with it also. Uh, I've sold paintings, but I think of what I do as mostly recreational therapy for myself, But yeah, cool. Okay, so this is, there's a lot more detail that's going to be added to this canvas as I talk more about it in the coming weeks. Having said that, I still want to keep it in this expressionist realm, so that it's not a very realistic, but you look at it and it kind of gives you a mood, and the mood I want to set is kind of a natural tranquility. Even with everything that goes on in nature all the time, there's some tranquility going on. What we have here is I kind of want to give the effect of maybe, and if you see my work materials in the background, please forgive that mess, of a bank, kind of like a wrapping bank around this, maybe coming off canvas a little bit to help kind of justify some reflection along this body of water. And I may put a couple of small stones coming up through the water there so I can have a little bit of movement just to settle a bit, maybe some, some foamy splashback or something. And you know what happens with water when it kind of filters through like a channel of small rocks? It kind of gets a little frothy, maybe a little greenish frothy going on. I'm thinking of doing something like that, but just keeping it subtle up here, just to kind of give a little bit of a something, a balance to what's going on here. Uh, kind of a, kind of a, you know, I want this to be kind of like maybe like a brackish water, where this like maybe a lake, a channel or something like that coming in. What happens in nature, by the way, with the, except for a small pond, most lakes really are part of a greater water system. You know, in Louisiana, we call them bayous. um, and sometimes lakes in North Louisiana, but really what they are channels. They're lakes and ponds and everything that kind of basically flow into either the Red River, the Mississippi River, any of the other little channels or rivulets that flow into those. But yeah, so this is um, yeah, this is kind of basically what I'm creating is kind of what like a bayou might look like, but it might be a channel or a lake in just about anywhere else in the country. But with this big stone, a big chunk of stone coming out, and and it's by perspective, it's just bigger than this tree over here and everything like that. So honestly, it may not be a bayou. It may be a lake in uh, you know uh, a little further up in the state, because we don't really have like big chunks of rocks like that. And when we do, they're with like we they'd be, the perspective would be like rock smaller than the tall trees. So uh, that lets us know that it's not really a even though it looks like it could be like a mossy, Louisiana kind of thing, we don't really have, uh, you know, uh, so maybe a little ways further in some of the wilderness of Arkansas or Tennessee or something like that. Whatever. It could be kind of anything, but I'm really having so much fun. Okay, so some of the newness, I had put a dark horizon, really really solidified it, and it was great. And what I've done today was basically to bring back that balance of reflection between the rock and the reflection of the water. There was an imbalance when I went and put like a lot of, when I did some fill in of some of the blue. Uh, and it was like, okay, so we had this light, and then this dark reflection. So I went back and I kind of provided a balance and kind of a little bit of asymmetry where there's a little bits of darkness. And I tried to keep kind of the recursion between the reflection and the surface. So you can almost see where it could almost fold onto itself, give or take, uh, reflection, but then also uh, peaks just underneath the surface of what this rock would look like underneath the surface, both playing back and forth. That's kind of where I want the mind to go with this, you know. And then I've even brought down like some subtleties uh, uh, of what I kind of want to see, some of that rock reflected in like a squiggly bit of water that's going to happen on the surface right here. And so that's what I want to see, occasional disturbance of this otherwise calm body of water that is a large lake or channel that basically is a runoff from a larger water system, and we're kind of cool with it. And then I'm thinking, if I accomplish really what I want to accomplish with it, I'm thinking of branding it with, the logo of a donation that I've with the nonprofit organization that does an auction at a yearly event, and I'm thinking of creating this to donate to that, because I think it would just be, the more I work with it, I think it would be really really good for that particular organization, for the participants to be able to do like an auction, and this be one of the things that they auction off. The last time I did that, it was a few years ago. I did a painting and I gave it to that organization to donate, and it did really well, and people were happy with it. And what it was like, the woods and everything like that, little cabins and things, and then but it was darker. It was like a nighttime, and there was a little flicker of a fire potentially, but the branch of a big bough of a tree came out this way, and then there was another one coming off there, because it was like you're looking through uh, boughs of a tree, and they came together and they uh, created uh, the logo, including the initials of the organization. And it was so cool to let that be kind of like a natural. It was because the whole event that we do, that I'm thinking of, just kind of this as like a meditative retreat out in the woods, with this organization. So it's kind of cool. So I'm thinking of that. If I really get this going where I want it to go, I'm thinking of doing that and letting it be just expressionist and just abstract enough that the mind can look at this and still wonder a little bit. And that is to look at this and not, "Well, what is that?" Or, I want there to be something for the eye to see, but I really want to lend us to a tranquility. So what I'm thinking is creating an atmosphere where there can be sort of a presence, and kind of like in the sky, either with the sunlight or something like that, maybe with the logo in that sunlight, with the subtle reflection of that just right around here also. But kind of like, it would like this would be a you know, the logo, and then this would be kind of like a squiggly version of a mirror image. It wouldn't have to be perfect, just a hint of a kiss of that reflection right there, you know. But that's where my mind is thinking of going. But that's in early November, and I'll show you. You'll see me working on this. But that gives me a while to really, really get where this is going. And I will say this one, it took me a little bit longer to jumpstart than the other one. The other one, I knew I wanted. I had a vision of, hey, I'm looking at a pane of glass, uh, at uh, a city, and then there's a storm, and then we're also going to see a candle in the foreground with the reflection of the candle in the flame in the window, and it's going to be beautiful. And I think I really accomplished that, and that's basically for me for the apartment here. This one, it really has to be good if I'm thinking of putting it up for auction. I can't just like half-ass something and throw it out. But I really feel like this is getting, and when I'm saying that when I show this on a phone and it's a representation of light, um, when I do this, I look at these videos that I make and then I go back and I look at the canvas and I say, how can I take what's on the canvas as I'm seeing and compare it to what I'm looking at on my phone? And how can I make that clarity, just as crisp? And I normally get around to doing it. I normally accomplish what I want to accomplish. And I can see now where the finality of this is really going to be pretty close to what's going on. You never can tell with me. I may decide to go in a different direction. What I want to do is come in with the um, ebony. Um, I'm sorry. Where are we? What's the name of this? What do they call this? Ivory black. Ivory black is the name of it. I knew there was some sort of oxymoronic kind of thing. Uh, I don't know. Ivory is white, black. Go figure. But what that lets me know is it's a very neutral, very neutral. It's basically perfect for shadow. What I'll do is I'll go in and I'll add some detail to some of the branches within this forestry kind of bit. Get just a little bit where I put some brown. I'll put just a touch with the small bristle brush, small brush, and kind of give some of that depth to these forestry area, and then I'll have to figure out some sort of way to create some something here, because I don't just want a big streak of blue right there, because there's going to be enough of that up here. But yeah, and then we'll work on coming up for a name for this piece also. As I work on it. And if you're out there and you're watching this, and as we get around to it, and you see me working, and you're like, what would be a cool name for this? I'm okay for suggestions, and chances are it would probably be an amalgam of suggestions combined with my idea of things. If I went that route, no guarantee, but it's fun. I like to hear from other people about art, and I love to see other people's art. So if you have artists on YouTube that you like to follow, uh, you know, hit me to it. I would love to see what other people are out there doing. Um, but yeah, also, this is such a wonderful calming experience. I would encourage anybody to find some wonderful, beautiful way to express yourself in an artistic fashion. Okay, love and light. Peace. Good night.